if you look at kind of how Web3 projects try to incentivize these things now, it's really based on the centralized smart contract paradigm, right? The idea that, let's say we all buy some token, like rendering tokens from the smart contract, and then somehow when I help other people render things, I get subsidies from that smart contract. That's really hard, right? Because like the smart contract then has to verify proofs. Did you actually do your render or not, right? Like it's basically like communism, right? Like there's this like centrally planned economy in the smart contract that tries to make sure everybody is well incentivized, and that just I don't think that necessarily works very well. uh, yeah, like I feel like in the Mel paradigm it'll be something like there's a peer-to-peer network, anybody can render stuff for anybody else, and if people are like, if I pay you and you give me a bad render, you don't render it, I'll not pay you again, right? There's like identity and civil resistance, and you have a reputation, but ultimately it's not guaranteed you're going to get your stuff rendered. But the idea is that market forces should push things towards an equilibrium where most participants actually are honest, because otherwise they burn their reputation and possibly like their identity for no good reason. And yeah, I feel like that's definitely a paradigm I don't see a lot of people exploring, which I find strange, honestly. Like I always felt like that was the obvious way to use blockchains. When I first heard about like blockchain incentivization of things, that's what I expected to see. But I guess like this whole Litecoin problem is upstream of a lot of decisions that projects make. So
Okay, I mean, is there anyone that you see that's trying to attack this problem in a similar way, or is there, or like, who are some of the people that maybe inspire you, or the thinkers that are at least close to what the kind of idea that you're talking about here?
for the whole incentivization, I've heard of some projects that try to do like micropayments for like VPNs and things like that. But there's also the Swarm project that like does incentivization for like peer-to-peer and things like that. But ultimately, I feel like the problem is like without synergizing that with light clients, right? You don't really, it doesn't really work, right? Like like if I pay Bitcoin for my torrenting peers, like you need to like negotiate, like, okay, look, this is this block explorer, like I paid you this money, and like there's always this friction. And I think that friction precisely comes from like the lack of like really fully automated light client verification. And yeah, so I think like there's a lot of people I think that have tried to do this, none of which have gotten very far, I believe. Um, yeah, and I think that we're definitely probably the first project that I think can succeed in building out a whole stack of stuff that uses this sort of approach. So
unchecked governments have eradicated privacy and truth. Those who resist are brought down swiftly, but we refuse to submit. Unipunks are freedom fighters, protected by encrypted shadows. The future we're building is sovereign and uncensorable. The moonlit night is coming.